Now, eNCA reporter Silindelo Masikane is on the streets of Johannesburg. That's as we count down to the Finance Minister's budget speech this afternoon. Slee, you're trying to gauge just exactly what ordinary South Africans are wanting and hoping to hear from the Finance Minister this afternoon. What are you hearing?
Certainly, we are counting down, Michelle, and the Finance Minister is due to deliver that much anticipated budget speech at around 2 o'clock this afternoon. And so, of course, a lot of talk around, the SOEs that will be in the budget, most probably education, issues around the VAT. We saw the VAT increasing last year during the budget speech. Of course, that hit South Africans pretty hard. And of course, a lot of issues around the grants that we've been hearing on the streets. Now, we are in Linden. Earlier on, we were in the Randburg CBD, and we're also just going to gauge what South Africans here are looking forward to. Thank you for joining us this morning. Now, of course, the budget speech this afternoon. What do you want to hear from your Finance Minister?
So I hope that he's going to be honest. That's the most important part. We know it's the election happening now in May, so we need an honest minister that can take very difficult decisions. If that includes privatization of Eskom, that's obviously what we'd like to see. So if he can be honest, we'll be happy.
Yeah. Now, of course, as a Joburger, you're, of course, facing the e-tolls. You're facing, of course, that VAT increase as well. And you are in the economic hub. What do you think needs to happen in order to make our economy grow?
So, obviously, I've got my own business as well, so VAT definitely hits us hard. But the delivery of basic services, we need power in order to drive our businesses. That's what's going to make our business grow. And if consumers are happy, they spend money and then they spend it at our businesses. So we want consumers to feel confident. If we can boost the economy with confidence, that's the cheapest form of stimulation in the economy.
Of course, and a lot of issues around corruption and maladministration and public funds going to waste. What needs to happen for government to spend the public purse efficiently?
Well, I think if they can just plug the leaking bucket, we've already got more money. So as soon as we stop corruption, the budget should actually increase, and that's what you'll see. So I don't think it's a thing of getting more money, it's just a thing of plugging the leaking bucket.
Yeah. And lastly, you mentioned power. Of course, Eskom is going to be quite big on the agenda. What needs to happen at Eskom?
So, well, privatize it, break it up and privatize it. That's
so you are for the unbundling?
Absolutely.
All right, thank you so much. Michelle, I'm going to take you now to two young people. In fact, come. Don't be nervous, come. Now, I stopped them quickly. Of course, young people will be wanting to hear what's going to happen with regards to education, jobs. What do you want to hear from your Finance Minister this afternoon?
We would like to hear about the bursary. And then, the electricity that's shutting down anytime, whereby, it's shutting down a lot of things. Yeah.
What challenges are you facing when it comes to accessing funds for higher education?
Yeah, it's
is it difficult? Is it the registration process? Is it fees?
It's a registration problem.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's difficult for you to register?
Yes.
All right. And you're quite concerned about electricity as well?
Yes, too much.
Yeah. All right. Okay, cool. All right. That's it from Linden here in Johannesburg. As you can see, a lot of talk around Eskom, a lot of talk about plugging those leaking holes when it comes to the maladministration of public funds, as well as a lot of talk around education. It was an apex priority in last year's budget. We see whether we will be hearing the same talk this year.